Well, looks like we've got some unboxing to do. So, RPM Wood Finishes, who makes Mohawk, used to make Burnin, and has a number of other finishes or companies, has basically re-upped or started anew, I'm not really sure at this point, let's say re-upped their instrument finishing line. All through Mohawk, we've talked about this before, I did a bunch of demos back in the day of Burnin products. They were very good. They canceled Burnin, if you will, moved it all back to Mohawk, and then had pretty much the same products, and they were also very good. And now they're focusing a lot more on instruments than they used to. So we have a lot of stuff that we're going to take a look at today. We're going to unbox this stuff, and then in subsequent videos, of course, we're going to demo it. We're going to try these out. We're going to see how all this stuff works. This is a bunch of products that are designed mostly for instruments. They're designed for wood finishing as a whole, of course, broadly, and Mohawk has a ton of different wood finishing products. But the focus on this is guitars, stuff like that. So I don't think we need to talk about it a whole bunch more, except to say that Mohawk's a very good company, always has had good products as far as I can tell. Availability is a little bit difficult in Canada. You can get them through Richelieu, whatever it is, I think, and Solo Music Gear. Solo Music Gear has a bunch of stuff from Mohawk now. In the United States, it's a lot easier to find, and yeah, they've got great stuff. So let's take a look at what they've sent me. This is substantial. I almost need a smaller table for this. Let's, I don't know, we got 2 boxes here. Let's start with the big one and start breaking it down. I'm gonna make a heck of a mess in here. Packaging materials, lots of them. Oh boy. Okay, so this appears to be, oh boy, several boxes of aerosols. Various aerosols, which is good because immediately this is a bit more manageable in terms of height. I'm not all that tall. Before we start hacking those up, what else are we working with here? We got some boxception going on here. Hopefully there aren't more boxes inside these boxes. Okay, let's start with what we know. We have classic instrument lacquer. This is a clear gloss. It's instrument lacquer. So this is intended to be more along the lines of vintage instrument lacquer, kind of similar to the Oxford stuff. That's the intention. I know the formula is a bit different for these guys, or at least it used to be. I'll take a look at it. I think it's meant to dry a little quicker. So I would say it's maybe a little bit less vintage, if you will, but a good product. I've used it before back when it was Burnin. I think this is going to be very similar. So, classic instrument lacquer. Before you put that on, you're going to need some sealer. So here we have instrument sealer. Now, Mohawk also has the vinyl sealer, which I'm very fond of and which I have a bunch of already. This is not the vinyl sealer. I believe this is their nitro sealer that goes with their nitrocellulose lacquer. But of course you can use the vinyl sealer with it as well. I find the vinyl sealer a little quicker. This stuff, again, more along the lines of the classic formula. Correct me if you think I'm wrong there. Fingerboard oil. Good to have fingerboard oil. Not all types of fingerboards or fretboards, because this works on, you know, violins and stuff too if you want, but not all of them need fingerboard oil. So I just said it works on violins, but they're typically ebony. You generally don't have to oil something like ebony. But rosewood, for example, you would. Mohawk, I think, is using the same type of fingerboard oil that Burnin had. And I've used Burnin's before. It's very good. So I'm not sure. I remember it having a very unusual smell. Child-proof lid's great. This has a Brad-proof lid, so let's see if I can get through that. Might have to go revisit my video on how to deal with these. Yeah, okay, that's the same stuff. So I already know this stuff is good, but we'll do a demo of it so you can see. Maybe I'll compare it to a couple of other options. This you've seen me use before. If you've been following me for a while, this is the ultra penetrating NGR dye stain. This is the jet black. I ordered kind of the medium size in jet black. I still have some left over from my Bellin one as well. As far as I know, this stuff doesn't go bad. It certainly hasn't seemed to lose any of its potency, and I've had my other container of it for years, like many years, probably 7, 8 years. It's great. It penetrates quickly, relatively deep, but because it dries so quickly, it doesn't go super deep, which I prefer for a lot of things. If you want a water-based dye, that's going to soak way in, and it's going to be harder to do like a sandbag finish or stuff like that. So I really like these. And then Scratch and Mar Resistor Polish. This is, I believe, it's kind of like a wax polish. So it's designed to make wood surfaces more resistant to scratches and stuff like that. But what it also does, or what I like to use this kind of thing for as well, is kind of just cleaning, buffing and cleaning. So I wouldn't use this, for example, on an abraded finish that I wanted to buff or polish back up to gloss. What I would use this on is a glossy, nice guitar that I want to protect a little bit more, or that I want to clean and shine up. I've got a lot of guitars that I can use this on, and I'm going to. So we'll do a quick demo of that. That'll be a nice short video. You'll get to see that in action. 4 boxes to go. All right, let's continue working our way through the list here, if you will. I'm just gonna get this part done right now. So I believe I've got some vinyl sealer in here. I've probably got a couple other types of aerosol, although they may just have sent me some volume. I don't know. You know what? I ordered all this stuff, and I can't remember what it was. I just took a look through there. Oh, this is going to be a quick unboxing, this one. That is a gallon of something. Piano lacquer. Gloss piano lacquer. I can't remember if this is a spray finish or not. This is exciting. I've never tried piano lacquer before. I'm not going to refinish a piano. So spoiler alert, that won't be happening because I don't have a piano to refinish. But the piano lacquer is definitely an interesting type of lacquer. I'm going to have to take a look through and make sure I'm applying this correctly. I think you spray it, even wet coats. For wet mills, I don't have a mill gauge, unfortunately. So it's telling me, you know, for wet mills, don't build up to beyond 7 mils dry film thickness, DFT, but you can do WFT 4 mils at a time, wet film thickness. Again, I don't have a gauge. You're gonna have to see me do a little bit of guesswork on that, unfortunately. But I'll be careful, and I won't apply it too heavy. I'm excited to try that out. Piano's lacquer has always kind of intrigued me. It seems a little different than what you see on a guitar. Oh boy, lots going on in here. Okay. Ultramark stain markers. I've used the Bellin ones. You've seen me do it. They now have them from Mohawk. I've got some different colors here. I've still got some Bellin ones that we'll play around with as well, probably. So these are stain markers, and they're great for a variety of things. They're meant for touch-ups. All right, they're meant for, you know, you've stained something, your dog claws it, or you knock something against it and create a dent. Well, you just fill that in with a stain marker. But the possibilities go well beyond that. If you've got some artistic ability, I drew some roses, I think, some flowers on the back of one of my guitars with these before, and they looked awesome. Notwithstanding my lack of artistic talent, they looked really cool. So I'm probably going to go with something along those lines to demo these, because I think a little extra creativity gives you some serious options with these that people should be aware of. And then in a similar vein, but not really, these are also intended for repairs. These are fill sticks. So you heat them up. They've got a little heating thing that's also from Mohawk. You heat them up, and then you drip this stuff onto the surface basically, and then you scrape off the excess, and it's a colored fill that fills in imperfections and problems. A great idea. Really good for furniture and stuff like that. Has some application for guitar, but again, there's an opportunity to use these in a way that maybe people haven't considered. For example, you do like a nice maple top guitar, you go in with a chisel and create a gently engraved pattern, and if you want that smooth and flat again, but you want that pattern accented, you can take your black fill stick, melt it in there, scrape it even, and then you've got a filled in jet black pattern. So just some ideas. I need to think about what I'm going to do with these, but that's kind of what I anticipate doing with them. And I know these create a nice durable fill. So in a lot of cases, this is going to be better than using your wood filler, for example. Excited to give those a try. Oh, what else have we got here? Stringed instrument lacquer. Don't know what else to tell you. Stringed instrument lacquer. I know it's a good formula. Let's see. I know the can spray well with these guys too, so that's good. I hope they gave me a lot of this. 1, 2. Tone finish. Okay, well they gave me a couple. And a quart. Ooh. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. We've got some colors to test out. So we've got tone finish toners. These are less instrument specific, but they're a toner lacquer. This is dark mahogany. Mohawk's got a couple different lines of these though. We've also got the guitar toner. So this is a deep red guitar toner. A toner lacquer, just so we're clear on this, is kind of like a candy paint. It's a transparent color. So these are going to be, again, a lot like the Oxford ones that you've seen me do with the transparents there, like the cherry red, the vintage red. This deep red, probably going to look fairly similar to that. It's going to show grain through it. It's going to be cool. I'm going to try that out. Starcast Amber, one of my favorite colors that Bellin did, and I assume is going to be the same for Mohawk. So these are nice, again, transparent. If you build them up, they darken, so you can get a variety of shades out of this just based on how thick you put it on and how much you build it up. And it stays transparent for a lot of coats, but you can build from a kind of gentle yellow to kind of a deep amber orange with something like this. Stringed instrument lacquer. Need that. Stringed instrument lacquer, good. You need lots of the clear coat. No surprise to anyone, I'm sure. Okay, and then we get into some, well, before I finish here, tone finish toner. This one's black. So black transparent is incredibly hard to do. I'm excited to see how they did with this. I've seen a lot of really bad black transparents from a few different companies that end up kind of hazy, grainy, and they just don't look transparent because black dye is so heavy. So I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but I'm excited to check it out. I won't say right off the bat that I trust that it's going to be good. I'll need to see that in action before I can tell you anything about it. They also have metallic aerosols. They've got not a huge variety of them, but a few. And I've got the bright gold here, the kind of thing that you would use for a gold top guitar. So we'll test that guy. And then Serena Rose colored lacquer enamel. So a colored lacquer enamel, a little bit more durable product. Probably don't need to put a clear coat on this, and you can use this for, well, you can use this for all sorts of stuff, but I'm going to have to take a close look at the information on this because enamel often doesn't play well with other stuff, but this is a lacquer enamel. So I don't really know what it's going to be like, and I'm excited to try it out. Serena Rose is the color. I don't remember what that is. It's probably like a rose gold or something. We got a lot of cans left to go through here. Let's get to it. How many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So there's probably 12 cans in here unless they've got some other stuff. 12 cans and no cans. Some other stuff. All right. I'm going to run out of space on this table. Okay. Let's see if these are the same. Nope. Encore Brown guitar toner. So we've got dark red, Starcast Amber, and Encore Brown. Encore Brown I've used before. It's a very dark toner. Great for doing bursts and stuff like that. The Starcast Amber and the Encore Brown together. Oh, very nice. So we'll use that. Do a burst maybe. Back to the enamels. I did get more than one enamel. Where did I put the other one? Here we go. Serena Rose and Pearl White. A lot of nice, there's a lot of variety out there in white. So we'll see what this one looks like. Antique gold in the metallic aerosol. So I've got bright gold and antique gold. I highly doubt that I asked for both of those. So thank you, Mohawk. I appreciate that. We'll give them both a try, see how they compare. Lacquer for brass. So if you've been watching any of my pickguard work, you'll know I do pickguards out of things like brass and copper. Brass is actually a very popular one out of the guards that I do. Mostly I do brass and aluminum. Those are the two most popular. You can't just throw whatever you want on brass in terms of a clear coat. So usually the ones that I get asked for are raw finish. But there is a special formula of lacquer for brass. I have now some satin lacquer for brass. I've got lots of kind of spare brass kicking around that I'm going to try this out on. It's tough to get paint to stick directly to metal without using a primer. And of course, primers are like self-etching. They're typically opaque, and so you don't get the metallic look. Hopefully we can solve that here. I'm looking forward to trying that. Lacquer for brass in gloss. So now I've got satin and gloss. Couple options, that's good. Okay, this is very important, but it's going to be tough for me to test. But you should all know about it. I live in a very dry environment. I live in Alberta. There's no water there's a river here, but that's about it. Winter here in particular is incredibly dry. So that's a good thing for me when it comes to painting with lacquer. A lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people end up with this cloudy look in their lacquer, and that's called blushing. And what happens is humidity gets trapped under the lacquer. So we'll get into that in a little bit more detail in a video. I don't know if I'll be able to demo it because I can't really replicate the conditions here very often. But Mohawk's got, the way you get rid of that is you mix a retarder, something that slows down the drying time, into your lacquer so that that stuff can evaporate. The humidity can get out of there. Problem is it makes your lacquer dry slower. So you need to know what you're doing. But this stuff, this No Blush Plus retarder, is a spray that basically re-wets your lacquer. It chemically re-wets your lacquer and it lets all that stuff out. I'm not a chemist. I don't know exactly how it works. But I've heard that this stuff, if you spray it on top of your lacquer and then you polish after, but you spray this on top of your lacquer, gets rid of blushing. And it seems like a lot safer method to me than the alternative, which is often trying to hit it with a heat gun and hoping that it doesn't crack. So that's an awesome product. If it works the way it's supposed to, and I've heard it does, but I've never tried it, but if it works the way it's supposed to, that's a game changer for a lot of people who live in humid environments and can't seem to get rid of that blushing problem. So check that out. Hopefully I can actually test it for you, but if you're looking for a solution to that issue, that might be your solution. Burnin Sealer, for burning into old finishes, I believe. So it says this product is designed to match color and or sheen of wood projects. I need to figure out exactly what this is for again, but I believe this is just to seal in once you've done, if you've done a touch-up. I think this is for sealing in your touch-ups. So if I did like a fill stick job on a gloss surface and I wanted to, or on a satin surface and I wanted to match the rest and kind of fix the area, I think that's the idea for this stuff. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to test it out. I've got lots of damaged stuff kicking around, I'm sure, and if not, I've got a hammer so I can fix that. I can damage some stuff. We'll try it. Medium red shading mahogany tone finish toner. So we're back to the toner lacquers. It's good to have options in there. We've also got an amber. This isn't the StarCast amber. What else do we have? Espresso. I did go through and order a bunch of colors of this. We're definitely gonna have some cool options. Espresso. So we can do like a tobacco burst. We can do a transparent brown. We can do an amber burst, all sorts of stuff. Burnt sienna. That's a great color. And medium walnut. And that's it for the aerosols. What do you guys think? Is that enough? Is that enough aerosols? Lots of painting to do. Okay, moving on here. I'm excited about these ones. We talked about the NGR dye stain. We talked about what I like about it. It's one of my favorite dyeing products. And now we have some color availability. Blue. Oxblood. Green. I guess we can mix these together and make some other colors. And light walnut. I'm gonna run out of storage. Well, there you go, guys. Lots of stuff. Well, we made it. That's it. Lots to try out. So A huge thank you to Mohawk for sending me all of this. I'm excited to give it a try. It is going to take me a while to get through all of this, but we've got some exciting videos coming up with this stuff and with some of the projects we're going to be working on. So we'll do a few kind of just standard demos, and then we'll incorporate these into some projects going forward. I hope you guys are excited to see how this stuff works out. I know I am. I've tried a few of these things before. I know they work well, and I'm excited to try out the rest. If you liked the video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember to subscribe so you can see what I do with all this stuff. As always, thanks again for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.